Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Trent. This is Rams Talk, coming at you after the Rams just got bird handled by the Arizona Cardinals, 37-20. Yeah, a score in a game I like to forget, but no, we're gonna relive it all. We're gonna talk about the good things. There were a couple good things, and the bad things, which were the majority of everything. But first, I want to tip my cap to the Cardinals. I mean, they came in and they wanted this game more. They executed. Their game plan was stronger. They have a lot of talent on that team, and they came in. They showed the Rams what's up. And I mean, listen, Cardinals fans, I don't hate the Cardinals, right? You know, I don't really. You can't really have a rivalry when it's such like so one-sided, right? So, you know, I know what it's like to lose. The Rams lost 17 consecutive times to the 49ers in the 90s. So, like, I get how it goes, right? And I know this is a big moment for the Cardinals fans. So enjoy this moment because, you know, anything can happen in the NFL. And I mean, I think that's the moral of this story is anything can happen. You know, last 2 weeks ago, the Rams were on top of the world. They beat the Bucs. They manhandled the Bucs, right? And then they turn around and get manhandled by the Cardinals. I mean, it's a week-to-week thing, and it's week 4, right? So there's still a lot of time in the season. Last year, the Niners manhandled the Rams. It's like the Cardinals came out, and it's like you could tell there was a chip on their shoulder. They had a game plan. They have the talent, and they out-executed the Rams pretty much every facet. But I'm here to say, don't worry, be happy, just like Bobby McFerrin said, because there are some silver linings, okay? Silver linings being, you know, San Francisco lost. I'll tell you, I always sleep easier when I know the San Francisco 49ers lost. So that's just a great thing. You know, this is the NFC West. The NFC West is now. It has officially begun, and it's exactly what everyone thought it would be, a bloodbath. So real quickly, I want to thank everyone for watching, for commenting on the other videos. If you're new to Rams Talk, please subscribe, join the Rams Talk community. If you're thinking about it, if you're a Rams fan, you're like, ooh, I'm just watching this video and I don't know, just trust me, you're going to want the Rams content. Hit subscribe. I really appreciate it. And for all the Rams Talk subscribers out there, the community, what's up? It's always good to bring some content your way. And I really appreciate all the support. So yeah, you know, I kind of feel like this game was, you know, those movies where there's like a body swap, you know, like the dad swaps bodies with the son, and, you know, now they're living in weird worlds. I feel like this is like the Rams and the Cardinals swapped teams. Like the Rams acted like Cardinals of old, and the Cardinals acted like Rams of old, and that's really what it is. And so, you know, the Cardinals are for real, and like I said, tip my cap to the Cardinals, but for the Rams, you know, the really what I want to focus on is, yes, we're going to recap this game. We're going to talk about a lot of the ugly stuff. You know, you got to talk through it, but you know, it all depends on how we bounce back against Seattle. If the Rams beat Seattle, then we're not thinking about this game so much. This game is more like, okay, that was a loss. That was you know, 4-1. And if the Rams beat Seattle, we have 3 days before that game. It's coming fast. So the Rams have to lick their wounds, figure this out, and get back on the horse and really take it to Seattle. So, you know, they're 3-1. Last year at this time, they were 3-1. They had dropped 35, or they had given up 35 points to the Bills in week 3. You know, no one's was freaking out about, oh, we gave up 35 points. You know, the defense hadn't established itself yet as the league's best defense. The second half of the game was a completely different story, but the Rams gave up what? You know, 30 or 28 points in the first half last year against the Bills. They gave 23 points against the New York Jets last year. So, you know, it really wasn't until, you know, a handful of games into the season, actually week 4 against the Giants, where the Rams defense really kind of established itself as a top defense, or one of the top defenses in the league. At the same time, remember the narrative last year for people who are finding bones to pick with the Rams were that the Rams hadn't played anyone good. So they played the Giants, gave up 9 points, played the the Washington football team, gave up 10 points. You know, it's kind of like that. They had a weak schedule last year, and so their defense actually, you know, did well. In the last game of the year, they gave up 7 points to Kyler Murray's backup, Canadian Football League guy. So, you know, it's hard to really draw parallels to last year. However, there is just a different feeling, right? Like, is this what we're going to expect from the Rams? And their defense is going to be kind of all over the place, like 2019. That's what this game reminded me of, was 2019 Wade Phillips against the Cowboys, against the Ravens, where we just completely got trounced. But I'm going to dive into this a little bit more. And also going back to last year, the Bucs lost 34-23 against New Orleans in Week 1. Then later on in the season, they lost 38-3 against New Orleans. Okay, can you imagine if the Rams lost 38-3 against the Cardinals? Can you imagine how much more the sky would be falling for most of you out there? So, I mean, just perspective. The Bucs lost 38-3 to New Orleans. Then they lost to the Rams. Then they lost to the Chiefs. And it was November 29th when they lost to the Chiefs. And then they didn't lose again until 2 weeks ago against the Rams. So things are correctable, right? But do we have confidence in the Rams making those corrections? So let's all just take a step back. Let's all breathe, inhale, exhale. It's okay. You go on Twitter and it's just like everyone's Joffrey, off with their head, it's insane. It's insane. Like, other teams score touchdowns. You don't shut a team out every week. Now, I think for me, it's not that the Rams lost. It's how they lost. And it's a trend with this defense that I see I don't mind the defense giving up some plays or giving up some yards, but the big difference, I guess, if I had to really think about this, is last year when the Rams gave up plays, they were contended. Like, the passes were, Darius Williams was intercepting passes. He was in there. Like, it seemed like the defense was playing closer to the offensive, the wide receivers. They were more in the mix. Now it feels like the opposing offense, Kyler Murray, was just throwing it to guys wide open. The Rams, it's 3rd and 4, and the Rams are 6 yards off the line. Just like, hey, come get that catch. I'm just gonna tackle you after you make the catch. And I understand limiting explosives, but how about also limiting catches? That's kind of a crazy idea. Limit the catch before the explosive. I think that's really what it is. Like, I don't feel the Rams defense is in position to make plays. I'm not saying they have to intercept it all the time, but just be like what I liked. One of the players I liked in this game on defense was Jalen Ramsey. And not because of Jalen Ramsey, but he was in the mix. He was playing up on the player. You saw that play with D. Hopkins. He was running stride for stride with him. He wasn't just sitting back in a soft zone, just saying, "Hey, just come run up to me and catch it." But anyways, this game, the failure in this game really for me was from the top down. And it's not just a Raheem Morris deal, it's a Sean McVay deal. This was one of Sean McVay's worst games as a coach, I feel. Probably top 5 or 6, in the sense that it just seemed like, number one, the team wasn't ready to play. And maybe that's what happens when you come off the game like the Bucs. You're high on the horse. You have another team that's hungry, and they're eager to show you what they've got. Talented team. But the not going for it on some 4th downs, the abandoning the run, was just inexcusable. And this is something that McVay has done often as a head coach of Rams. It's hard to argue with McVay, and I really don't argue with McVay on most of the time. But he abandons the run so quickly, especially when it's successful. Like, I don't mind if, the Rams are just getting 2 yards a carry, like they're just banging their head against the wall and it's not working. But Darrell Henderson was averaging 6.4 yards. At one point it was 6.9 yards per carry. And they run with him, 1st down, 6 yards, 1st down, 8 yards, 1st down, 4 yards, and then pass, interception, punt, whatever. And it's just like, what are you doing? When they went for it at the goal line, and it's just the pass to Higbee. What are you doing? You got Darrell Henderson. To me, Getting away from the run was folly. And going back to that Bills game I just talked about, what made that game really, what made the comeback possible was that the Rams stuck with their offense. They ran the ball in the second half a lot, even though they were down. They were down by 3 scores, and they kept running the ball. And Buffalo had no answer for that. Had the Rams just continued to run the ball, the passing game was not working. Had they continued to run the ball, I think, number one, you keep your defense off the field. I don't know why I have to say that, but, I mean, Rich Hammond and I think most Rams fans are just still shaking our collective heads at the lack of consistency on the ground, and that is Sean McVay. He's calling the plays. It's no one else, not a coordinator. It's Sean McVay. So number one, it's the abandoning the run game. Darrell Henderson was great. The offensive line was great. Okay, Van Jefferson was great. That was probably Van's best game as a pro, right? Awesome. So there were things I liked. Jalen Ramsey I liked on the other side. Offensive line was opening holes. Darrell Henderson looked a little slow or tentative. Maybe it's still with the injury. Maybe that's bothering him a little bit. And Sonny Michel with the fumble, that's fine. Like, fumbles happen. Like, find a team that their running back has 0 fumbles in a season. Okay, it's going to happen. But that's it. Comes down to turnovers. The Stafford pass that was intercepted, that was a good play by Byron Murphy. But I still think that Matthew Stafford doesn't really understand how fast Deshaun Jackson is. And I kind of feel like either release it a half second sooner or just really throw it as far as you can. And he'll catch up. Like, just overthrow him if you have to. Let him just turn on the jets for that last burst and catch it. Because if that ball is placed 2 feet, 3 feet, 1 yard further, Jackson has that. Could be a touchdown. So, it's like these things like, yeah, they played terribly. Yeah, Matthew Stafford threw a TD, but it's like, I feel like the Rams on offense, it was more of them inflicting self-inflicted wounds. Okay? I'm not trying to take anything away from the Cardinals, but the Rams ran whenever they wanted. Okay? The Cardinals weren't stopping them on the ground. Matthew Stafford, yeah, he had the rating. Yeah, that play. But, I mean, there was an interception he threw that was called back because of the hit in the face. I mean, come on. The same thing against Kyler Murray, hit in the face. Those equalized, but still, that happened before he threw that ball, let go of it before the hand hit him in the face. So it didn't affect him, and he still threw that. There are some plays where he just, in the end zone, where he just threw it, and you're just like, where was that even going? The pass that Cooper Kupp, and I know the context on that was he saw Cooper stumbling, so he wanted to put it in a place where Cooper continued to kind of stumble and not continue his route. That would have been right there, but Cooper Kupp regained his footing and kept going, and then it was short. But I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said, but he locked onto Cooper Kupp too much. He was forcing things. He just didn't look crisp. Okay, and that happens. That's fine. That's fine. But I think when we want to talk about the defense, let's just talk about the defense all day. And it's the defense fault. I mean, Matthew Stafford did not look sharp. You know who looked sharp? Kyler Murray looked sharp. That's what sharp looks like. Matthew Stafford last week against the Bucs, that's sharp. Yesterday, not sharp. So if you're going to take, like, Matthew Stafford wasn't the reason the Rams lost the game. He was part of the reason the Rams lost the game. Sean McVay's play calling was part of the reason why the Rams lost. His inability to go for it on 4th down a couple times, and then when he does, I mean, I just don't get it. The red zone offense, not good. Really bad in the red zone. Yeah, Cooper Kupp also off a little bit. I'm just, not that's going to happen in the NFL, right? Not every player is an all-pro every game. So, that's what can you do there. Now on the defense, this is the part where, this is where everyone's dissecting it. So I had some concerns with Raheem Morris coming into this season, mainly because I didn't really know what he was as a defensive coordinator. I said before, Brandon Staley was unique. I mean, we didn't know what Brandon Staley was last year until about week 4, week 5, and then it started coming around. But it was he kind of created a defense. It was a Fangio defense, but with a significant twist and some different complexities to it. But Brandon Staley was dialed in. He was like a scientist. And when the one thing that Brandon Staley did is he made halftime adjustments. If the Rams were, getting stymied in the first half on defense, getting run over, they went in, he figured it out, they implemented it. And I mean, look at the Buffalo game, right? Buffalo scored the only points Buffalo scored in that game were the last play of the game, that touchdown with PI on Darius Williams. So that's what Brandon Staley's calling card was. Now, I don't know if here's the thing. If you're going to do a bend but don't break, you can't break. The Rams broke. Also, what seemed to me is that the Cardinals were faster. Their offense was a lot faster than the Rams' defense. And, I mean, this is what you get with a mobile quarterback. And I think that's the thing that is unique to the Cardinals and even to the Seahawks to degrees, the mobile quarterback. So when the pocket breaks down and you have all the receivers and everyone going out, so you have this huge gap from the line of scrimmage on about 10 yards. And Kyler Murray goes to run, he sucks in a linebacker, and then he throws to an open guy. Or he dumps it off to Chase Edmonds, and there goes Chase Edmonds or Rondale Moore, right? So, that was what was killing the Rams. Third down conversions, I mean, that was woeful. So here we go. The Cardinals had 3 more first downs than the Rams. The third down efficiency was 8 for 13. The Rams could not get a stop. Had the Cardinals been 6 for 13 and the Rams scored a touchdown when they were there, when Stafford tried to sneak it in, I mean, this game could have gone differently so many times. So it's not like, this was a terrible showing by the Rams, but it just, the penalties is the most penalized they've been all season. Third downs, 8 for 13, couldn't do anything about that. They had 9 fewer plays than the Cardinals. They had fewer total yards, same amount of drives, more yards per play, barely. But, more passing yards. But, I mean, Kyler Murray was his completion percentage was great. Rushing yards, they gave up 216 rushing yards. A lot of it was on just the one big chunk play to Chase Edmonds towards the end of the game. Red zone, they were 3 for 5. Rams were 2 for 4. Penalties, they were more penalized than the Rams. Their time of possession, though, 10 minutes more. And that's the killer. The Rams defense just can't get off the field. That's, that's just third down conversion. How many third and longs were there that they converted from like a scramble? It's just, it's kind of coming. It just felt that Kyler Murray had his way with the defense. They had no answers. None. I mean, maybe the first drive of the game for the Cardinals, the Rams stopped them. But other than that, David Long looked pedestrian. I mean, listen, was it because we lost Staley? Is it because we lost Staley and Morgan Fox and Michael Brockers and John Johnson and Troy Hill? And there are 4 guys there, Is the personnel correct? Is the scheme correct? David Long, I like David Long. But I mean, that play to AJ Green, that touchdown to AJ Green, could it be any easier? AJ Green is a savvy vet. He knows what he's doing, but I'm like, my goodness, that was just so easy. A lot of the plays, Taylor Rapp, people are ripping Taylor Rapp and they're ripping David Long, right? But, they're not bad players. Players can have bad games. And I don't even know if Taylor Rapp really had a bad game. And they had a lot of players had bad games in that. It was just all around bad. I'm just curious to know what the defensive scheme and philosophy was in that game. I mean, Taylor Rapp had 12 tackles, 6 solo. Sebastian Joseph Day showed up again. He had a sack and 8 tackles. Jordan Fuller, you don't really hear Jordan Fuller's name getting called much. Leonard Floyd did well. Ramsey, Darius Williams, but I mean, they just, they couldn't keep contained, and the Cardinals just ran circles around the Rams. And for me, I think that the defense is still searching for an identity, and it's okay that they lose. It's fine that they lose, right? But how is this trending? Is this trending into we're cleaning it up? Or is this trending into tail end of the stretch, or basically all of 2019 when it was just a laser show for opposing offenses, whether it was Jameis Winston or Dak Prescott or Lamar Jackson? So that, to me, all of what you're feeling kind of means nothing if the Rams show up and take care of business against Seattle. San Francisco lost. So the Rams are in second place in the division. So 4-0 Arizona, 3-1 Rams, 2-2 Seattle and 49ers. If the Rams win next week, that's a big deal. And I'll tell you, Cardinals' schedule is about to get crazy. Let's just see Cardinals here. Their schedule right now, so they play the 49ers next week. So NFC West going crazy. Then they play the Browns, Texans, Packers, 49ers, Panthers, Seahawks. So they've got a gauntlet they're going down. And also the Rams that they played yesterday, and Cardinal fans, I'm talking to you, the Rams that they played yesterday are not going to be the same Rams Cardinals are going to play the next time they meet in Arizona. And also a little note for Cardinal fans. Some of you came in the comment section and were cool, and I respect that. Like I said, I generally have nothing wrong with Cardinal fans. But then there were Cardinal fans talking some trash, which is fine. But they didn't say anything before the game. I think it's because they thought they were going to lose. But they show up after the game talking trash. That's not how it works. You either say what you got to say up front, or you just don't say anything. You don't just come in, oh yeah, we won. Yeah, what's up? Where are you now? I put myself out there. That's fine. That's fine. Anyways, it's all fun. It's all fun. Like I said, don't worry, be happy. San Francisco lost. Let's bounce back against Seattle. Let's see what Raheem Morris can do. Everyone says he's a great guy. Cool. I'm a great guy, not a good defensive coordinator. So anyways, let me know what you think. The sky is not falling, especially if you've been a longtime Rams fan. You've been through some tough times before, but teams lose. By the way, one last thing I wanted to say. Matthew Stafford moved well in the pocket. I do respect that. I'm happy about that. I watched some of that Lions game yesterday, and Jared Goff had some tough times when he when the pocket was collapsing on him. So there's a difference. There is a difference. But I look for Stafford to bounce back and the Rams to bounce back and get their mojo back against Seattle. Otherwise, if the defense looks like a sieve again, good lordy. Anyways, I'll get to that in my next video. Thank you for watching. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Find me on Twitter and all the other things. And as always, go Rams. Oh my God. I was not even recording.